Ever since World War II, George VI's true role in D-Day remained a secret. Then Professor Richard Aldrich of Warwick University and Dr. Rory Cormack of Nottingham University made a tantalising discovery in the diaries of the King's private secretary, Sir Alan Lascelles.
Alan Lascelles, known as Tommy, was the King's private secretary, so the most senior courtier in the land, and went on to be private secretary for Queen Elizabeth II as well. He was very old-fashioned, an old world kind of man, and he left a diary. And there's one very interesting clue in his diary giving insight, a snippet of insight into the King's personal role in the D-Day deception operation.
Lascelles' diary records a visit to Buckingham Palace in March 1944 by MI5 officers.
Friday, 3rd of March, 1944. 2 MI men called on me yesterday and explained how the King's visits in the next few months could assist the elaborate cover scheme whereby we are endeavouring to bamboozle the German intelligence over the time and place for Overlord.
And this is a really significant clue because it just gives us a little hint that the King not only knew about one of the biggest secrets of the war, but had an active and personal role in it himself.
Then a second discovery gave further evidence of the King's role. In 1950, 5 years after the war's end, the MI5 officer who'd run the D-Day deception operation, John Masterman, sent a top-secret document to Buckingham Palace. It was an internal report Masterman had written for MI5, and it described every detail of the World War II deception operations he'd run. Masterman called it his secret book.
This is one of the most secret documents in British government. It captures a whole new art form of secret service, or at least an art form taken to a whole new level that Britain has developed during the Second World War.
Masterman sent his secret book to the King, care of Alan Lascelles, who was still the King's private secretary. Lascelles replied to acknowledge safe receipt.
Dear Masterman, thank you so much for trusting me with the book.
I'm most grateful. It looks thrilling. I know that my master will read it with as much interest and admiration as I shall myself. Yours sincerely, Alan Lascelles.
These two discoveries, the first hinting at the King's secret role in D-Day, the second showing that he was close enough to MI5 to be allowed sight of such a top-secret document, sent Aldrich and Cormack on a quest. What really was George VI's wartime role? And how had he come to be so trusted by MI5, when at the beginning of his reign, it had viewed him with suspicion? In December 1936, George's brother, Edward VIII, abdicated. The British intelligence services suspected Edward of being a Nazi sympathiser. They even put him under secret surveillance and tapped his phone. MI5's suspicions about the monarchy continued, particularly the new king's attitude to Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain's policy of appeasing Hitler.
The intelligence services are watching everybody who was connected with appeasement. Chamberlain and also the royal family, because there are continual emissaries to Germany. And of course, there's the shadow of Edward VIII. Edward VIII, who is known to be close to Hitler, close to the Germans.
MI5 hoped that George would not follow in his brother's footsteps.
Everyone associates appeasement with Edward VIII, but King George wasn't a Nazi sympathiser, but he was an appeaser, because he did not want to go to war with Nazi Germany. Not only had he lived through the horrors of the First World War, but also feared that a war might threaten to destroy the British monarchy. Nazism, it didn't have such a threat to the British establishment or the British monarchy in a way that, say, communism did. So there's this desire here to stave off war at all costs.